Hi, hello, and welcome back to PJs and Pages with Danielle. I'm Danielle, and for those of you who don't know, I'm a stay-at-home mom who reads a lot of books, and I was watching some booktube videos the other day, specifically one by Larry Reads. She's a fantastic booktuber. If you haven't seen her channel, you should go check it out. She's hilarious, but she actually created a beginning of the year book tag, and while it is almost we're like halfway through February, I still want to go ahead and do this. Some of the questions are a little bit repetitive of videos that I've done in the past, but there's some other ones that I really want to reflect on and get to. So we're going to go ahead and do this book tag. And yeah, I think my fellow booktuber, Angela Danielle, also did this tag. And so she definitely inspired me to go ahead and just do it. So I am I'm going to go ahead and get started. The first question is, how many books are you planning to read? And I kind of answered this one in my my 2024 book goals video, which I will post a link for down below. But I don't really have a goal. I always set a goal of 24 books because I figure I can read for sure 2 books a month. So I always set that as like my Goodreads goal, but I don't really have a goal this year. My goal is just to read books, make sure that the books that I read make me happy. So this year I don't really have a set book goal. I found that I was reading for numbers rather than for pleasure, and that's not what my reading journey is, what I want it to be about. So officially 24 books is my book goal. Unofficially, I don't really care whether I reach it or not. I'm gonna reach it, but it doesn't really matter to me whether I do or not. Next, the most anticipated releases of the year. I do have a few. One of them is Funny Story by Emily Henry, which is funny story. I haven't actually read all of Emily Henry's books, but I buy all of them. So I have Book Lovers and I have Happy Place, but I haven't read them yet. The only ones I've read of hers are Beach Read and People We Meet on Vacation, and I've loved both of them. So I just assumed that I'm gonna love her books. And I do really like her writing style, so I am really looking forward to Funny Story by Emily Henry. It sounds really cute. I don't have the premise in front of me, but it's an Emily Henry rom-com. I'm also really looking forward to Familiar by Leigh Bardugo. So Leigh Bardugo is an auto-buy author for me. I've read all of her books, and she's the queen, man. I love her. I read her YA, I read her adult, and this is gonna be her first like adult historical fiction, which is really exciting. So I'm really excited, and it's like witchy. So anything that's witchy and historical fiction, I'm all about. Next, I'm really excited for Bride by Ali Hazelwood. I think by the time this comes out, it's already been released, but I don't have my copy yet. I will be getting it. I believe Crate is doing a special edition of it and sending it in their February box. So I'm really looking forward to that one. I love Ali Hazelwood. I don't like to read her books back to back because yes, her stories are all very, very similar and the main characters are all exactly the same. But I can't help it. I like them. They make me happy, and that's what the whole point of reading is supposed to be about. So Bride by Ali Hazelwood. Another one I'm really excited about is Somewhere Behind the Sea by TJ Klune. This is actually going to be the sequel to The House on the Cerulean Sea, which is one of my favorite books. And I didn't realize there was going to be a sequel because it's over, but I get to spend more time with these lovely children. I'm all about it. So very excited about Somewhere Beyond the Sea by TJ Klune. And finally, Lady Macbeth by Ava Reid. Last year, A Study in Drowning by her was one of my top reads. And it's one of those books that I really, really want to reread again. So I'm really looking forward to this book. I actually did receive an e-arc for it, so I'm very excited about that. I will be reading it sometime in the near future. I've got so many books going on right now, but I do plan on reading the e-arc and then probably buying the physical copy. If it's as good as A Study in Drowning was, I'm gonna want a physical copy of it. All right, the next question is a book you have on your physical TBR that you probably won't ever read. And there's probably a couple of them on there, but the one that comes to mind, first of all, is This Tender Land by William Kent Kruger. This is a historical fiction written by a man, and it's about the Indian training schools, and it's gonna be sad. Like, I just know it's gonna be sad, and I don't know that I want to be sad. Like, every time I see it, I'm like, I don't know that I'm in the right headspace for that. I don't know if I ever will be in the right headspace for it. It's also not a short book. It's like 450 pages, so that's a lot of sadness. I don't know that I'm up for that. So This Tender Land by William Kent Kruger. I've heard it's really good. I'm not disputing that it's any good. I just don't know that it's gonna be the book for me. A new genre that you would like to try more of. So last year I read my first memoir. Oh no, it's not my first memoir, but it's probably like my second memoir. So I read my second memoir, and you know what? We won't count how many memoirs I've ever read. I read a memoir, and I don't normally read memoirs. I don't really read a lot of nonfiction to begin with, and memoirs especially, they tend to be sad, and they just don't do it for me. But I actually read one with via audiobook, and I found that it was really, really enjoyable to listen to the author tell their own story. So I kind of want to do that more often this year, read a couple of audio memoirs that are narrated by their own authors, and kind of see where that takes me. So memoirs this year. I want to read a couple memoirs. What book made you want to try this genre? So the book that made me want to do that was I'm Glad My Mom Died by Jeanette McCurdy. I really enjoyed it. I liked that she told the story herself. And yeah, that's all I can say about that. A book you're most likely to reread. So I did a whole video on books that I really want to reread. I've actually got the stack right here. I think for sure this year though, I'm definitely going to reread Anne of Green Gables because I'm doing it for a specific reason. But I also really want to, I think for sure I want to read The House on the Cerulean Sea before the second book comes out. So I'll definitely reread that one as well. A book you wanted to get to in 2023 but didn't, so it's a priority in 2024. So my fantasy book club with my Fantasy Island girlies, they read The Last Tale of the Flower Bride in 2023, and I don't know what kind of funk I was in. It was post Fourth Wing. I couldn't get into anything. And it's short. It's not even that long. So this year I really, really want to finish reading this because everything about it says that I'm going to love it. It's gothic. It's kind of fairy tale-esque. It's a fantasy, adult fantasy, feminism, all of that. So I don't see a reason why I wouldn't love this, and I really want to give it a shot. So this year I want to prioritize that. Next, a series you want to read this year. So I've already started that, and that is Throne of Glass series by Sarah J. Maas. I am actually working on a continuous vlog where I'm reading through the entire series, so stay tuned for that. But yeah, Sarah J. Maas. Last year I read the ACOTAR series. This year I want to read Throne of Glass, and then next year I want to focus on Crescent City so I can kind of be caught up with all of them. But yeah, that's my goal. Throne of Glass is this year, and so far it's going great. I'm loving it, and I think it might end up being a new favorite series. So, yay! An author you've never read before but want to try this year. So, once again, my Fantasy Island girlies, they are obsessed with Jay Kristoff. They've read like tons of his books, and one that they are absolutely obsessed with is Empire the Vampire. So that's where I'm going to start, is Empire the Vampire. We're actually going to be reading that next week because the sequel comes out, but man, is she a chonker. But there's pictures. Is that not the best thing ever? I love when adult books have pictures. It makes me feel like a child again, and yeah. So it's a chonker. I've heard it is intense too. It's labeled as grimdark fantasy, which can be pretty intense. But I liked Game of Thrones, so I don't see why it would be too intense for me to read. I'm really excited about it. So Jay Kristoff is an author that I want to try this year. An author you're probably not going to read more of this year. Okay, so positive, now the negative. Last year I tried Anna Huang. She's just not for me, guys. I know she's really popular. I'm glad that you like her books. The writing style is just not for me. So Anna Huang is, I'm not even gonna bother trying any of her other books anymore. There's probably some other ones, but that's the first one that comes to mind. Oh, the other one that the Dreamland Billionaires series, Lauren Asher. I wasn't a fan of those books. I just couldn't get into the writing style once again. So maybe I'm just strung out on billionaire romances though, like just mean billionaires getting the girl. So I don't know. It's Lauren Asher and Anna Huang probably are going to be authors that I don't go back to. On a more positive note, a popular book that I want to read is Happy Place by Emily Henry. This was popular in 2023, but I am late to the game because I was busy reading her backlist. So I read People Whom We Meet on Vacation, and I really want to get to Happy Place this year because I've heard really, really good things about it. So Happy Place by Emily Henry is a popular book that I want to try this year. An audiobook that you want to listen to. So we were talking about memoirs and reading ones that are narrated by their authors, and Becoming by Michelle Obama. Michelle Obama narrates it herself. That is so exciting. I love the Obamas. I think of them like as the Kennedys. I think they're great. And Michelle Obama is a huge idol of mine. So I really want to same difference. I want to listen to the audiobook that Michelle Obama narrates, her own audiobook. So Becoming by Michelle Obama is an audiobook I want to listen to. A book you want to read based on the cover. Okay, and this is another chunky book, but The Priory of the Orange Tree. Oh my God, it's gorgeous. First of all, look at the gold foil on it, and then there's this like beautiful dragon illustration. I don't know if you can see, I don't know if the camera like does it justice, but it is absolutely gorgeous. And the edition that I have is the Illumicrate one, so the naked hardback is gorgeous too. Like, it's just, look at this thing. It is stunning. It is just a stunning book. So I mean, I've heard good things about it as well. So, and it's got dragons. It's got dragons. I love me a big chunky fantasy with dragons. So a book based on the cover that I want to read is A Priory of an Orange Tree. A book to TV adaptation that I'm really excited about is Bridgerton. I'm obsessed with Bridgerton. I did read the books, and actually I think it's like one of those rare things where I like the show better than the books. I think Shonda Rhimes is doing a great job with that show. She's made it her own thing. It's not, I mean, yes, it follows the storylines from the books, but for the most part, it is its own creature now, and I love it. I am eating it up. So yeah, I'm excited about the new season coming out, and I can't wait to watch it. Something bookish you want to start doing this year. Something bookish that I sort of started already is keeping a reading journal. I'm actually doing it on Notion, so I'm gonna see if I can show you guys. I have a Notion page called All Things Reading, and it's got I want to work on putting in a thing of my physical TBR. It's got my Kindle TBR on there. It's got all of my NetGalleys and ARCs. It's got my 2024 TBR, just kind of like vaguely books that I know I'm going to be reading because of buddy reads or book clubs by month. And readathons that I'm doing, the Pop Sugar Challenge, and my reading log. So my reading log is what I'm most excited about. I want to try to be more consistent about like really reflecting on the books that I've read. I mean, some don't need that much reflection, but the reading log thing in what is this called? Notion. In Notion actually has like a template already set up where you put in a picture of the cover, and then you can write down notes about the book. So you'll see I have lots about Ruthless Vows. And then you can do key takeaways, which is where I want to put a review. And then you can also do like quotes. So I want to write down all the quotes that I love, and then a summary. So that way, because I have a really hard time with the summaries of books. I don't know if you've noticed, I like I blank when I know what the book is about, but I have a hard time expressing it and in verbally, and I have such a much easier time writing it. So I want to be better about using this template, especially before I make a video, so that my thoughts are more collected. So I am going to try to be better about that, and also just to have like this beautiful log of all these wonderful stories I've read. So that is a bookish thing I want to start doing in 2024. A bookish thing I want to stop doing this year. So I did make a video about this as well. I titled it, Do I Have Too Many Books? And the answer is yes, I do. I want to stop buying books as much. Not that I'm going to stop buying completely, because that's unrealistic. If you're a book person, you know you're going to buy books. But I want to stop buying books for the sake of buying books. I want to buy books that I know I'm going to read. So I guess like that I'm realistically going to read within a certain timeline. I'm not going to go out and buy books that I'm going to read in the next year or in the next 2 years or something like that. I want a book that I'm going to read like that week or that month or what may have you. And I am going to try to use my library to cut down on how many books I am buying, because a lot of the books that I've bought, turns out I'm only going to read them once and then I get rid of them anyway. So I'm going to work on using my library to cut down on how many books I am buying. Then the next question is a 2024 bookish goal. So one of my bookish goals, I mentioned this in my 2024 goals, is that I'm working on the Pop Sugar Challenge. I tried it last year. I didn't quite complete it. I made it like to 70, excuse my son. I made it to about 75%. This year I am working on completing it, but there's a lot of K-pop prompts and I'm not really a K-pop girly. So I don't know if I'm going to end up completing it or not, because I also promised myself that I wasn't going to read things, just for the sake of reading them. So we'll see. I might pick some up at the library and DNF them if I have to, and just check it off like, yeah, I tried, but it just wasn't my thing. But yeah, the Pop Sugar Challenge is a really great challenge. If you're looking to diversify your reading, that's a great way. Oh, another one that I'm doing is the Diversify Your Reading Challenge. So my goal is 2 books every month. It was 1 book a month. I wanted to start with just 1 book a month, consciously picking a book by a diverse author, either a BIPOC author, an own voices author, something like that. And yeah, so far I've been averaging 2 books a month. So I might end up with 24 books on that list for my Diversify Your Bookshelves challenge. A 2024 booktube goal. So my booktube goal is, first of all, it was to start a booktube channel, which spot on, I'm doing it, right? So what I really want to do now is learn how to edit videos better. I've been just using my phone or my camera and iMovie. And I think I've mastered iMovie. I don't think there's much more I can learn to it. But I do want to learn a different editing software. I think there's better editing software out there for sure. So I need to look into that, and that's something that I want to work on, is having I want to work on having better editing in my videos. So if you do have software recommendations for editing, please let me know, because there's got to be something better than iMovie out there. I know there is. I know everybody's using something else, because they can put like text in their videos and zoom in and zoom out, and I don't know how to do that. So please share what you're doing. A 2024 non-bookish goal, let's manifest. This goes hand in hand with the buying books thing too. I want to limit spending and save money for travel. One of the things that I envisioned for my life was being able to travel at least once a year somewhere new, and experience the world and cultures. And I haven't been able to do that. And I spent a lot of money on books and a lot of money on toys and a lot of money on homeschool supplies. So my goal is to be more minimal about those things and hopefully save some money so that we can travel. Describe how you want 2024 to go in 1 word. And the word that I picked was balance. I really want to have a good balance between my reading life, my social life, spending time with my son and making that, be more present in the things that I do by having more balance in my life. So I also wanted to make sure that I was taking time for myself. I've been spending a lot of time focusing on my son. He's a baby, he's a toddler. So that's obviously normal, but it's time to start going back to things that are for me, which is one of the reasons why I started this YouTube channel to begin with. So yeah, balance. I want some more balance in my life. Booktube creators who inspire you. So obviously Larry Reads, she made this Booktube challenge or tag, and so I do watch her videos. I think she's hilarious. Definitely check her out. Carrie Can Read. I also really enjoy her videos. I think she's really good at describing books, and her personality just shines through. Peruse Project, I watch all of her vlogs. They have been inspiring me big time to vlog. And Elliot Brooks, I love the way she talks about her fantasy and the way she looks at books. Jess Owens, I think she is hilarious as well. I think she's got a lot of really insightful things to say. I really enjoy her content. And the book Leo, I just really enjoy watching the book Leo's videos. I think that the way she speaks about books is beautiful. So those are the booktube creators who inspire me, and something I want to say to anyone who wants to start a book account. So I wrote something down because trying to say it out loud was not working for me. If you keep trying to find the perfect time, you'll never start. You just got to do it. Start somewhere, even if it's cringy or bad. You can only improve with each posting and experience. The community is so welcoming and helpful, and I would call this a safe place for sure. You just got to start somewhere. So I really hope that my cringy bad videos inspire you to start, because it's something out there. You don't have to have the most experience, and you can still make connections with people who are into the same things that you are. So I hope that inspires someone somewhere out there in the internets. And thank you so much for Larry Reads for creating this tag. I thought it was such a great list of questions. I hope you enjoyed my answers to them, and if you have answers of your own to some of these prompts, please put them in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and just leave an emoji, if anything, in the comments. And yeah, that's all I've got for you, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!